a lot of these platforms, they've been holding me back from really going in and exposing what I really want to expose.
That's R. Kelly's former cellmate, and he's finally revealing what's really going down with the rapper behind bars. Because if you haven't heard, R. Kelly is going through it.
Then removed against his will by guards from the prison and was not allowed to be treated. And they are saying that basically this could kill him because of the blood clots and the care that they are alleging he is not receiving.
We've got all the details, and this situation involves some big names. Let's get into it. Okay, so R. Kelly is really struggling behind bars, and a lot of what's been happening has been kept under the radar. That is, until June 2025. That's when his legal team, led by attorney Beau Brindley, filed what might be one of the most explosive legal motions in recent memory. Filed in Chicago federal court, the motion demanded Kelly's immediate release to home detention, claiming that officials within the Bureau of Prisons, alongside members of the Aryan Brotherhood, were allegedly involved in a murder plot against him.
These are people who seek to kill Mr. Kelly rather than allow the corrupt criminal conduct of those who manufactured his convictions be exposed.
But this wasn't just a lawyer making dramatic claims to get his client out of prison. The motion included a sworn statement from a key witness, someone who claimed firsthand knowledge of the plot to kill Kelly, the main character in these. Allegations is Michael Glenn Stein, a terminally ill inmate who identified himself as a shot caller in the Aryan Brotherhood. According to his sworn statement, 3 Bureau of Prisons officials at the Federal Correctional Institution in Butner, North Carolina, offered him freedom in exchange for murdering Kelly.
Mr. Stein, in his declaration, has set forth the reason that was given. The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging to the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice. And because of that, the Bureau of Prisons instructed Michael Glenn Stein to go to Butner and execute R. Kelly. And Mr. Stein made clear and gave us extraordinary detail when we spoke to Mr. Stein. We didn't use this until we actually went down and met with Mr. Stein for hours. And he told us in extraordinary detail that this is not the first instance, that this happens all the time, that the Aryan Brotherhood has been directed to commit murders and beatings at the behest of prison officials for years.
According to Kelly's attorney, Beau Brindley, Stein was told that Kelly was about to expose information that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging to the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice. The solution, according to the allegations, was to have Kelly eliminated before he could spill that tea. But here's what makes this story even more twisted. Stein claims he was offered a very specific deal.
They have said that if he is to do this, he is a terminal cancer patient, he's going to die in the near future. That's a fact. And they have said that he will be transferred and he'll get the opportunity to walk away. And Michael Glenn Stein has a history of escaping from the Bureau of Prisons. He escaped previously. That's why he spent so long at the ADX Supermax in Florence. And all of a sudden, he was moved to this relatively low security facility at Butner and put near R. Kelly. That's a fact.
According to Kelly's attorney, Beau Brindley, Stein was told that Kelly was about to expose information that would be extremely damaging to both the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice. The alleged solution: eliminate Kelly before he could spill the truth. But here's what makes this story even more twisted. Stein says he was offered a very specific deal.
That discussions have been had about poison in the food hall, about poison in the commissary. Discussions with Mr. Stein have been had about stabbings. These are the kinds of methods that have been discussed.
According to the allegations, Stein, who's dying from cancer, was told he would be transferred to another facility and given the opportunity to escape. That way, he could die a free man rather than behind bars. Stein has a history of escaping from Bureau of Prisons facilities and had previously been held at the ADX Supermax in Florence. That makes this escape offer particularly believable, but something unexpected happened. Instead of carrying out the murder, Stein claims he had a change of heart. He arrived at Kelly's prison unit in March 2025 and was allegedly directed by BOP officials to kill Kelly, but instead, he warned Kelly of the plot. Stein also revealed that this kind of arrangement, where prison officials allegedly direct gang members to commit violence, happens all the time.
Well, let me say it this way. It's not allegedly having evidence. We do have evidence. And one piece of evidence we've already presented in the form of a signed declaration from Keyshawn Mogadamudi, Robert's former cellmate. And what he describes is having been solicited by prosecutors who are offering him a reduced sentence in exchange for stealing Mr. Kelly's privileged attorney-client correspondence.
The allegations include specific methods that were allegedly discussed for carrying out the hit, like poisoning Kelly's food in a chow hall or commissary, and even stabbings. Following the emergency motion filing, Kelly's situation allegedly got even worse. He was reportedly moved to solitary confinement at FCI Butner, where his legal team says he's been unable to contact his family and is being kept in spider-infested conditions. His team argues that solitary confinement is retaliation for exposing the murder plot, not protection. Kelly is now allegedly too scared to eat prison meals or use commissary items, believing they might be poisoned, but this murder plot is just one piece of a much larger conspiracy. Knows too much becomes a threat to very powerful people.
Absolutely. We're going to seek every opportunity to, one, make sure that Robert Kelly doesn't get killed, and number two, to see that he is freed based on what we believe to be and will prove to be a corrupt prosecution, the kind of which President Trump has promised to eradicate.
According to Kelly's attorney, they have actual evidence, not just claims. One key piece, a signed declaration from Keshan Mogadamudi, Kelly's former cellmate. Moody says prosecutors tried to get him to steal Kelly's confidential attorney-client communications in exchange for a reduced sentence. He alleges that prison guards helped him steal the documents, which were then copied by a Bureau of Prisons investigator and used in Kelly's trials. If true, this is a massive constitutional violation that could potentially throw out his conviction.
Filing about what they doing to all blacks in America. They violating out of our human rights. R. Kelly case too. They violating that man human rights. Larry Hoover. Like, they violating his human rights. He got another bogus case.
Federal prosecutors didn't take the allegations lightly or seriously. On June 16, 2025, they dismissed the murder plot claims as fanciful, deeply unserious, and a mockery of the harm suffered by his victims. They described Kelly as a serial and unrepentant child molester and said his solitary confinement was proof the prison was taking his safety seriously, not trying to kill him. Kelly's legal team, meanwhile, made a direct appeal to President Donald Trump for a presidential pardon.
So in the emergency filing, they alleged that R. Kelly was giving an additional dose of medication by prison staff. And they're alleging that because of that additional medication that he was instructed to take and that he actually took, he suffered a overdose. So they say that R. Kelly woke up allegedly on June 13th and he felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots. He got up and he fell. He crawled to the door of the cell and he lost consciousness then. At that point, he was placed on a gurney. He was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital because they tried to take him to the hospital inside of or associated with the facility that he's in, but they couldn't help.
Kelly's attorneys have gone public with their appeal to Donald Trump, arguing that Kelly is a victim of a corrupt prosecution. They believe Trump, having faced legal scrutiny himself, might relate to Kelly's situation. The appeal points to Trump's past clemency for Gangster Disciples co-founder Larry Hoover, but so far, no pardon has been granted.
R. Kelly's legal team says that once he was taken to the hospital for this overdose situation, R. Kelly brought up the swollen leg, and they allege that doctors there then took a look at the swollen leg and they found blood clots in R. Kelly's right leg, allegedly, in his left leg, in his lungs, allegedly. And R. Kelly's legal team is saying that R. Kelly was then told he should stay 7 days in that hospital for surgery, and then it would be an additional 2 weeks because of whatever care they were going to need to give him. But his legal team alleges that once the prison was contacted, R. Kelly was then removed against his will by guards from the prison and was not allowed to be treated. And they are saying that basically this could kill him because of the blood clots and the care that they are alleging he is not receiving. Someone in the ambulance from the hospital say this is going to open a whole new can of worms. R. Kelly's legal team then alleges that once he got to the hospital, it was then revealed that he had been giving an overdose quantity of medicine.
And while the overdose raised serious concerns, the real bombshells are coming from inside the prison, especially from one cellmate. His former bunkie has stories that change everything. Explosive testimony, industry secrets. What we're about to reveal takes things to a whole new level and shows what really happens when someone who knows too much becomes a threat to very powerful people.
Never roommates. We was on the same unit for a period of time, but I was there. I came there in MCC Chicago, June 24th, 2019. Okay. And I think he came either in July or August. It was like a month or two, no longer than 3 months after I came.
Our main source here is Ronnie Bowe, a former federal inmate who did serious time with R. Kelly and later wrote a book about their conversations. Let's keep it real. These are allegations and claims. Some are disputed, some can't be verified, but all of them are worth hearing. Bowe, whose real name is Ronnie Bowe Williams, is a former inmate who calls himself an author and the CEO of Grind Mode Inc. He says he spent significant time locked up with Kelly at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago. According to Bowe, their conversations revealed shocking truths about the music industry and what really happened to Kelly.
Holiday everybody, let's get Kels up here. So they sent the word to him, and Kels from there, he petitioned, he asked his lawyer, like, man, put that paperwork in and get me up out this. I want to go on general population.
Here's where things get interesting. Bowe says he played a role in getting Kelly moved out of protective custody and into general population.
In one of your interviews, you said that you asked R. Kelly, or he told you, either one, that it was $1.2 billion, that he found out that his catalog was worth $1.2 billion. And once he started trying to figure out how he can get, the payments for that or whatever, that's when he said things kind of turned up on him.
Bowe says he already had connections with shot callers from various prison organizations, the Gangster Disciples, Latin Kings, Blackstones, and they all agreed to protect Kelly in general pop. That's major. It means the most powerful inmates in the system vouched for Kelly, but the real bombshell, what Bowe says Kelly told him. These aren't just random jail stories. We're talking industry conspiracies, a stolen music catalog, and calculated takedowns.
Billionaire before they announced Jay-Z as a billionaire. And when he realized that, he like, damn, I'm as big.
According to Bowe, Kelly discovered his music catalog was worth $1.2 billion, technically making him richer than Jay-Z at the time. But despite that, Kelly was broke and had to stay on tour just to survive. That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? So, with that not happening, of course, because Pac ended up passing away, did R. Kelly go into detail on how him and Jay ended up working together and doing the best of both worlds?
You asked that at the perfect time, because that's kind of where this come from. Like, see, Jay-Z, he knew that Pac and R. Kelly was supposed to do best of both worlds.
So why was Kelly living paycheck to paycheck? Bowe says when Kelly started digging into his finances and trying to claim what was rightfully his, that's when things got dangerous. One of the biggest names tied to this, Jay-Z, according to Bowe, the beef between them runs deep, way deeper than the public ever saw.
Emotions that Jay had, jealousy or whatever you want to call it, it up the tour, because, R. Kelly said that basically when they went to Madison Square Garden earlier that day, he was getting random death threats.
Bowe claims that R. Kelly was originally supposed to do best of both worlds with Tupac, not Jay-Z. But after Pac died, Jay-Z stepped in, Bo says Jay saw it as a chance to reach Pac's level, but things didn't go how he wanted.
Hampton is the executive producer of Surviving R. Kelly. You know, that's her project, and that's Jay-Z ex-girlfriend, and you know, he funded mostly all of her projects, if not all.
Bo says Kelly started receiving death threats before their Madison Square Garden performance. Once on stage, Kelly saw threatening gestures from the crowd and believed Jay-Z was behind it. He walked off, and Jay's crew pepper sprayed him. But it goes even deeper. Bo says Kelly believed Jay-Z helped fund the Surviving R. Kelly doc through his ex-girlfriend, Dream Hampton.
Like R. Kelly was eventually blacklisted. I feel like I'm blacklisted. I feel like there's many other artists who probably got way more talent than most of the artists we hear in the industry that is blacklisted.
If that's true, it would mean one of the most powerful men in the industry helped bankroll the documentary that destroyed Kelly's career. And Bo's allegations don't stop there. He says the industry has a long history of blacklisting artists who don't play by its rules.
Right in the midst of that, for like 3 days in a row, was coming up there protesting on R. Kelly's behalf. So in the feds, they got this rule, like if they protesting around a building, we got to do emergency lockdown.
Bo claims he himself was blacklisted. He says when he tried to do an interview with the Breakfast Club, Hertradio shut it down because of his name. He suggests powerful figures like Jay-Z have the pull to blacklist artists and keep them out of the spotlight. This paints a picture of an industry where talent isn't enough. You need to play by the rules or you're done. Kelly, meanwhile, faced real danger.
Where we come from, like whether you was with a gang or not, we live by certain principles and codes. And in that industry, is a lot of that go on. Like when you talk about selling your soul and that really go on. Yeah. You know what I mean? This executive, you got this rich executive in the industry, and he could fuck over your career. He might want to play with your or something. He might want to play with your or something. But where we come from, it's like, what? And that's the type of R. Kelly was. R. Kelly told Quincy Jones, man, because of the God I serve.
In 2020, while at MCC Chicago, Kelly was attacked by an inmate named Jeremiah Shane Farmer, a Latin Kings member serving life. But Bo says that attack wasn't random. Protesters outside the prison had caused lockdowns, frustrating inmates, who then blamed Kelly, but Farmer later claimed in the media that the government put him up to it. If true, that's terrifying. Bo also says Kelly refused to compromise his values, even when it could have helped his career. He says Kelly turned down inappropriate advances from powerful figures like Quincy Jones. In an industry where some say selling your soul is how the game works, Kelly said no, and according to Bo, that may be why the system came down so hard on him.